Last few minutes, we saw those hazmat crews that you've been probably seeing going in and out of the Y over the last couple hours, getting taped up and heading back in. Now, we just got new information from the YMCA.
Here's the latest information. 40 children and 3 adults went to the hospital. The good news, the 6 children initially listed in serious condition are expected to be okay.
Tonight, we learned a mechanical error in the pool caused the leak.
Our Amy Cutler at Duke Hospital, but we want to start with our Michael Hyland with more on the investigation now happening at the downtown Durham YMCA.
From the collapse to the arrest.
That assembly last night started peacefully, but ended up in a totally different direction.
I think there's blame on both sides.
Right now at 11, growing outrage on both sides, and Governor Cooper calling for an immediate change.
These monuments should come down.
This video protesters removing a Confederate statue took off online. And tonight, deputies arrested a woman moments after she addressed supporters.
Yeah, no arrests have been made yet, but officers are moving in unison, step by step together to try to push this crowd back. We're all getting pushed back, media as well.
Do you have any words to sort of settle the scene? We understand it's Third Friday in Durham and that families are in downtown tonight.
Well, again, I don't know who the protesters are. I would hope that they would obey what the police are telling.
You know, it doesn't seem like there is a destination or where they want these protesters to go. All they're saying is move back. I'll let you listen. Move! 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 All they're saying is move. But again, right now where officers were standing in their riot gear, that's not the case anymore. They're not here. Neither are the protesters.
And welcome to our continuing coverage of the Great Carolina Eclipse.
When it actually happened, I still didn't have the words. It was that amazing of an event.
Absolutely. A lot of people wanting to have what they figure will probably be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Not everybody has the means to go great distances to see something like this.
So that push farther to the west will lessen the effects for our area even more.
Storm Irma could be an unprecedented event for the entire state of Florida, but a state of emergency now in effect for all of North Carolina. UNC off the hook.
I think that's pathetic of the NCAA.
You have to go by the bylaws, not opinion.
Right now at 5, the closing chapter of the year's long academic scandal and how UNC is moving forward.
Summed up in one sentence, quote, the committee ruled that they could not conclude that the University of North Carolina violated NCAA academic rules. From Franklin Street to the Smith Center, this is the talk of Chapel Hill. A child missing more than 24 hours after being reported as abducted has been found alive in Harnett County.
That's right. I'm actually here with the girl's grandfather and father who have a lot of relief right now, seeing some smiles. We're not seeing any of these smiles earlier today.
I don't know what to say. I'm just excited and so glad that she's home.
But when I talked to him, he had nothing to say. Can you explain to me why so many people... Caleb, can't you explain to me why so many people have complaints?
Accumulations that we were nowhere near expecting.
Those who are watching at home right now, this is what the road conditions are like here in Chapel Hill.
It's a live news update from the DOT. Our Richard Essex is covering this. Let's listen in.
These guys that are here now, they're going to go home at 8 o'clock tonight. I've got a crew coming in at 7. You know, when it's melting the snow, it's turning the water, it's washing brine off, and then all of a sudden it starts sticking, and that's what we're seeing now.
But when it really starts to snow heavy, the brine, the warm roads can't keep up. And that's what we've seen a lot. And that's why we have in our hands a historic snow event.
And the roads here are definitely covered in a good layer of slush. You can see, perhaps you can see in the lane across from us, a tow truck pulling a car now. I'll say we've been...
All right, Maggie, thank you. Let's go ahead and take a look out here. This is I-85 at Duke Street. This is a live look of this tractor trailer.
We're in North Hills, where most of the stores are shut down this afternoon. You can see those barricades blocking the roads.
So how has the sledding been?
Good.
Good? What did you think about the city coming out here with the sleds today?
Oh, what a great idea. That's fantastic.
I've seen cars spin out. I've seen cars disabled on the side of the road. I've seen cars completely abandoned, as well as law enforcement trying to respond to some of these issues right in the middle of these streets that are covered in snow. So if you do not have to be on these roads, I suggest staying inside.
All right, and that was Governor Roy Cooper providing an update on the winter storm, asking people do not drive.
We have 5 meteorologists out there.
For a lot of us, this is the most snow we have seen in 2 or 3 years.
Snow is accumulating a little bit on the interstate.
Conditions are continuing to worsen and will do so through today.
Those issues are going to become more widespread as the snow continues to spread in.
It's snowing about a ½ inch, an inch an hour. Boy, we'll easily get to our 5 inches.
They forecasted it, and now it's happening. That accuracy is definitely on point this morning.
There was no shame. There was no blame. There was no condemnation, just unconditional love.
We saw firsthand the interest by the 13,000 people earlier this week who walked by Reverend Graham's casket here at the Billy Graham Library.
But he was probably the most influential person to ever come from North Carolina that had such an influence on not only our nation, but the world.
Snap, spot, kick away, high enough, long enough. It's good! It's good! Gordon, ball stolen by Frazier. Run out. Frazier will take it in for the layup. Bobby Frazier. And how about them Tar Heels? They are the national champions.
It's here.
We've been talking about this all day.
New name.
CBS 17.
CBS 17.
CBS 17.
More faces.
I'm Angela Taylor.
Wes Hohenstein.
Naya Wright.
Paul Hagen.
Felicia Bolton. Aaron Clanahan.
I'm Russ Bowen.
Fresh look. It's happening today. A new commitment to things that matter most to you. Welcome to CBS 17 News. Local news that matters. And now, your forecast first from the CBS 17 Storm Team.
Well, it took half the month, but we finally got a warm day with above average temperatures. Good evening and welcome to CBS 17. I'm Wes Hohenstein. We do forecast first this way every night. And
a team high 22. When they hit the podium, we will bring that to you live. So Duke again into the round of 32. UNC opens its tournament run tomorrow. Our Jeff Jones has been tracking the Tar Heels.
Standing live inside of the Spectrum Center. This will be the site of tomorrow's showdown between UNC and Lipscomb.
Jeff, thanks for that. Right now, the Duke Blue Devils are talking to reporters about today's win over Iona. Let's listen to Coach K.
Highest level of love.
Duke is the favorite tomorrow, but KU will have home court advantage, luckily. I found the Blue Devils' secret weapon. It's Kayla Carter. We're talking to Wendell's mom. My goodness, how much fun must this be for you? You're a former college basketball player watching your son star on the biggest stage.
It is incredible. I think about how many times I've watched and participated with a bracket and watched for years. And now my baby is playing in that game, and I couldn't even do a bracket because I was so emotionally tired. I was like, I'm just going to cheer and have a good time. I can't do the bracket thing.
More than anything else, he's a friend of mine who just so happened to be the voice of the Duke Blue Devils for 40 years. We are thrilled to have Bob Harris with us tonight. Oh, the stories he could tell. Legendary Bob Harris is in his first year of retirement. That's why we can get him here today. Otherwise, he'd be in Omaha with the Blue Devils.
The place you call home, the place we vow to protect, like noble oak trees, with the strength of the bulls and courage of soldiers, we stand together. So every voice heard, every question answered, until the demand for better is reached. This is your home. This is your news. CBS 17, local news that matters.
Today is the day teachers, parents, and the city of Raleigh have prepared weeks for.
Many districts right here in central North Carolina have closed.
Our team of anchors and reporters will cover all aspects of this rally.
Good morning. I'm Angela Taylor, live from downtown Raleigh. It is the day that educators in North Carolina have been waiting for. Today is the March for Students and the Rally for Respect. We know that right now educators are at the North Carolina Association of Educators building. They will be making the walk right here to the Bicentennial Plaza. It's about a 25-minute walk, and there's a reason why they chose this spot. It's because it's right next to the legislative building, and of course, that is where the General Assembly will convene at noon, so their voices are heard.
Tell us who you are, where you teach, and why you're here.
My name is Lauren Haney, and I come from Davis Drive Middle School in Wake County.
All right, Lauren, thank you again. It'll be about a 25-minute walk. She said they're a little bit delayed, but that's because there are a lot of educators here. Now, there are a couple of teachers that are already here. You can see them in the red shirt. Beershell, what are the teachers there telling you?
Well, Angela, it's a similar story to what you're talking about. You say $200 is what some teachers are spending out of their own pocket. We have teachers here who came all the way from Charlotte, just got here parking and getting ready to rally for education. I want to first start with Leah Cruz. So for you all, talk to me about that, spending money out of your own pockets and how much that affects your, bottom line.
I mean, it affects everybody.
This
really.
is what they say that they're buying with their own money for the classroom. Scissors, rulers, backpacks, crayons, paper, eraser, pen, calculator. That's a lot of money that they are spending of their own money inside the classroom. Now, again, the General Assembly convenes at noon. CBS 17's Michael Hyland is inside where he just spoke with House Speaker Tim Moore. So, Michael, what was he telling you?
We were talking about those raises they're expecting to give teachers this coming year. When the teachers get here, they're going to see posters like this all over the building today. Republicans have put these up, trying to call attention to the recent raises teachers have received and the one they're expected to get next year. I want to bring you around the corner here. You can see we're up on the second floor of the building here, and you can see outside some of the teachers that have already arrived here as the rest of the group marches this way. As you mentioned, I just talked one-on-one with House Speaker Tim Moore, and I asked him about that issue you've been hearing about for the last several minutes, about how even with the raises teachers have gotten, they're still paying out of pocket quite a bit for their own supplies. Here's part of our conversation.
Well, we certainly want to see us continue to increase pay. The governor's a little late to the party, frankly, when it comes to raising teacher pay. We've been doing this for 5 years. And by the way, both those budgets that raised those teacher pay, the governor vetoed, and we had to override his veto to make those happen. So, you can't.
Of course, he vetoed the budget because he wanted you all to do more, not because he disagreed with teachers getting raises.
Well, I don't know. He probably wanted us to raise taxes because I know that in his proposals he wants tax increases, and we're not going to do that.
Several lawmakers have already arrived here at the legislative building, and they see this crowd outside here starting to form. They plan to meet with a lot of these teachers throughout the day. Legislators don't have much official business going on today. The actual session isn't going to last very long, and several of them have blocked off a few hours to talk to teachers as they come here today. So we'll be here to see what happens, and if the teachers start working towards some of the things they want to see happening here, Angela.
Thank you for being here and for the great work you do.
And this rally for respect will continue streaming online on CBS17.com. And he said under his plan, he can get teachers' pay up to the average salary in the next 4 years. Here's what else he had to say. So why haven't we done more?
Well, first, there's been a different kind of legislature over the last 6 or 7 years.
And we spent about 10 minutes with Governor Cooper this afternoon. If you want to see that full interview, just go to CBS17.com.
Our teachers take the streets.
Very enthusiastic about what they're saying.
This is what democracy looks like.
CBS 17 News was there. For all of our Rally for Education coverage, visit CBS17.com now. When weather hits,
Watching that line move to the east.
the CBS 17 Storm Team prepares you.
We had 3 tornado reports.
Tracking rain and storms in your neighborhood.
Well, the conditions haven't gotten any better. Matter of fact, the conditions have gotten a lot worse.
And we're dealing with some major flooding.
I didn't realize there was that much water.
Margaret's car is still here in the water.
Keeping you updated, on air, online, and on the go when weather matters. Trust the CBS 17 Storm Team.
Part of it, and the pictures, Colleen, that you tweeted earlier were unbelievable.
Justice, as we've been standing here, I have watched, Russ, as the road behind me has collapsed into the water below. I know it's difficult to see from our vantage point.
We are on Creedmoor by Glenwood. The mall is just behind us.
Stop. Pay attention to the world around you, because what matters now happens next. Counting on coverage, witnessing the news, that never guarantees answers. This is about asking tough questions, digging deeper, and making sure the powerful are kept in check. Our name does not stand taller than our promise. Our mission is to focus on what matters. This is CBS 17, local news that matters.
To the sky, he had his head up in the air and standing directly in the middle of the lane.
Before the arrest, the new 911 calls moments before a Raleigh man says he was assaulted by police.
Late today, dispatch released several of those 911 calls made before police responded. CBS 17's Amy Cutler first reported this story back in April. She is digging deeper into those phone calls, and Amy, these paint a new side to the story.
There are 5 911 calls. In them, passersby tell dispatchers there's a man dressed all in black in the middle of the road and that he has a gun.
In them, we see the very moment that the first officer arrived on scene here, up through the struggle on the ground to place Hinton under arrest.
They tell me they want to keep this story, these videos in the spotlight, hoping it will lead to some change in the community.
It might be underneath the don't worry about it. Just hours after officials released videos from Kyron Hinton's April arrest, the North Carolina NAACP responded.
We want to let the world know that we have a voice.
Now, the big question is whether law enforcement officers involved followed protocol during this incident. Tonight, I'm getting answers from a retired officer with the New York Police Department.
First, it was a single officer, and he felt threatened because it was a gun run.
This did come in as somebody with a gun.
Yes.
CBS 17 has been covering this investigation since the very beginning. Our coverage continues right now on CBS17.com and our news app. There you'll find links to the full videos released today, and there's a lot of them, as well as our prior stories with Kyron Hinton and more background on the officers involved.
Well, rumors aside, there is no way of knowing for sure that Apple is bringing a new campus to the Raleigh region.
But one thing is certain, if the world's most influential tech company does set up shop here, it will transform the Triangle forever. That's especially true when it comes to the housing market. Right now, the average home in Wake County will cost you around $300,000.
Angela, it could have a big impact if Apple does, in fact, come here to RTP. It could bring thousands of jobs paying six-figure salaries.
After a town hall meeting this week, Chemours is trying to clear the air. CBS 17's investigative reporter Richard Essex has an exclusive one-on-one interview with the managers at Chemours.
About a quarter mile over my left shoulder is a building that is fairly nondescript.
Some residents that expressed concerns that you weren't as, that you're hard to get in touch with. I'm just wondering if you have any response to that.
Miss Paul, how you doing?
Yes, he is.
Right now at 11, a local sheriff refuses to answer our questions before waving at our cameras. CBS 17 has made multiple attempts to speak with the Wilson County Sheriff following concerns that citizens brought to us months ago.
Tonight, our Amy Cutler went to a candidate forum with nearly 200 people in the audience ahead of next week's primary, where some of those issues from the animal advocates came up yet again.
Is there any way we could just ask you a couple of questions?
Wilson County Sheriff Calvin Woodard once again declines to take questions.
Sheriff, what about those Facebook comments that you made regarding the dogs? Is there any update on that?
New at 5, CBS 17 has obtained a copy of a 2017 investigation showing the Durham VA Medical Center had $1 million worth of brand new medical equipment sitting in a storage facility unused for years.
This is equipment that could have gone to making the lives of veterans much better. I took a closer look at this investigation, and then I began asking questions about how something like this could happen.
This 17-page investigation initiated by a whistleblower outlined serious financial allegations against the Durham VA.
Wow. CBS 17 caught the rescue on camera as deputies pried open the vehicle's door, as you saw right there, to get those puppies out. Look at those little faces. Oh. That SUV was parked in the county's detention center parking lot. Witnesses tell us they spotted the puppies sitting in that hot SUV for more than an hour.
There has been a major medical issue in front of the South Carolina State Bench.
Arguably one of the scariest moments ever in PNC Arena when a basketball player from a visiting team collapsed on the side of the court when his heart stopped beating.
These moments played out on TV, as you saw, and thankfully Ty Solomon made a full recovery, and he was back in Raleigh tonight with a special message for those who saved his life. CBS 17's Maggie Newland is here with more. Maggie.
Angela, it was great to see him doing so well. Ty and his coach came back to state for a ceremony tonight to honor first responders. In 2017, Wake County EMS crews saved 120 people who went into cardiac arrest, including Ty Solomon. It's a moment forever burned in the minds of players, coaches, and paramedics at the South Carolina State-NC State basketball game December 2nd.
I don't really like to relive any part of it except the part that when he woke up.
But that moment is what brought South Carolina State's coach back to NC State with his team captain Ty Solomon to honor those who helped save Ty's life. He was sitting on the bench when he collapsed.
One of my other teammates asked me if I'm okay, not knowing why. And I put my head down in my hands, and from there, I don't remember.
Ty's heart stopped. Trainers started CPR and grabbed a defibrillator, and paramedics rushed to his side.
When we got there, didn't have a pulse, wasn't breathing. Got one shock and got him to come around after that.
Next memory I have was waking up, looking at the lights. on the stretcher.
Not many times in life you get to witness a miracle right before your eyes, and that day we all witnessed a miracle.
Perfect timing. Thank you for being there, and that's I love you guys, man. Thank you.
Those who saved him are simply glad they could help.
Everything came into place. Everything worked out.
We have the potential to make a huge impact on a lot of people's lives.
An impact that goes far beyond the basketball court.
Days were not promised. It's changed the way that I coach. It's changed the way that I live.
Do not take anything for granted. Anything. You never know what's your time.
And Ty says it's still not clear what caused his heart to stop. He no longer plays basketball, but he does say he's thinking of going into coaching. He's also studying engineering, so he has a very bright future.
Oh, yeah.
Great athlete and very smart. A good combination. Maggie, thank you.
I can see TED Talk in his future.
There you go.
That is for sure.